Good evening and welcome to the Blend Zone. I'm your host, Big Mama D, bringing you the vibe straight, no chaser.
Welcome to the Blend Zone, the podcast where culture, conversation, and creativity collide. Hosted by the one and only Big Mama D. From real talk to breaking news, music, and untold stories, we go deep, speak bold, and bring voices that matter to the mic. Whether you're on the move or kicking back, you're now in the zone. The Blend Zone. Let's get into it.
Good evening, everybody. Today we have a very talented, brilliant young man with us. His name is Milan Milosevic. And he is here to speak today about, well, our favorite topic, money. How to get it, how to obtain it, and storytelling. He is an author. And I would love to hear how he did that because I've always wanted to be an author. And not about the things that he write about, but, I love horror. And so if I wrote about like he wrote about, it would be a horror story because you will never be rich. But he is a great businessman, and I'm sure that you would love to hear from him. So without further ado, Mr. Milan, how you doing today?
Thanks so much for having me. It's so great to be here, doing really good. From Johannesburg, South Africa, ready to share a story, hopefully inspire some people around the world and in America. And let's talk about money, how to make it, how to grow it, and reach the next level.
Okay. Well, Mr. Milan, where did you start your business and what inspired you to become this type of entrepreneur?
I can tell you one thing. Most people today, they see me as a founder of the largest property investors company in South Africa, 50,000 people, educational platform. I also train politicians, executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs to become better leaders. They use the power of the voice and story to grow a business. But 2005, I was a college dropout, broke, who could barely speak English. And what really got me into thinking differently is being broke. And my dad gave me an ultimatum. Says, Milan, go get a job and bring some money home, or you're not going to do this doing nothing. You have to do something, right? So I said, okay, let me go and look for some different opportunities. So I got a job offer to go and work in America on the cruise ship. And I took it and spent the next 10 years working, traveling, and eventually started learning from great speakers like Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, started doing presentations, events, done more than 1,000 live events locally, internationally, and wrote 9 books, and one was an international bestseller endorsed by Tony Robbins, was #1 on the Amazon. So it was a journey of, people say the same question, what got you motivated? Fear of being broke, literally. I was broke for so long, didn't like it. And let's see, where can I make more money? How do I grow? What is the next opportunity? And eventually started my own company, which ended up being a 7- and 8-figure business down the line with many people that I train. I train over 50,000 people around the world, and we're making a big impact. So, yeah.
The brokenness is a great motivation. Yes.
Yeah.
With my years, I should.
Be, yeah?
I should be motivated. So, what? Oops. Okay. What? Can you describe your business model and how you generate revenue?
So I specialize in selling from the stage, but I also train people to get booked as speakers. They get paid to speak, right? So a lot of people see speaking as I just want to go there and speak and hopefully get paid, but I use the platform to promote the back end, which is coaching or books or something else, right, while I'm on the stage. So my business model is very simple. I will create awareness through social media and content, And I would create awareness of challenges that people might be experiencing in speaking or business. And then naturally they will come to my free webinars, and then I will offer them some different ways of growing their business to 7 and 8 figures. How do we use the story with the power of marketing and with the right business structure? So eventually, once they're part of the funnel, they become my clients, my students, and I train them. So I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, right? So that's basically standard model, getting the leads, going through the webinars, and eventually offering them something, nurturing people. So I do have high packages, high price models, high ticket models as well, but there's also low cost membership platforms where anybody can get some value, right, by learning. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you handle customer feedback and complaints?
That's a good question. I don't normally get a lot of complaints, in fact, very little, but in terms of coaching, we navigate that as it comes. Sometimes you get people expecting faster results, but I set those expectations up front. So if my program is, let's say, 3 months or 6 months, I tell them exactly what we can expect to achieve at that period of time, right? But then essentially it's up to them to follow through, right? Some of them might be slacking, then there's holidays, and they ended up traveling, get sick or something, and then they kind of fall back. I have to pull them back on track. But really is about, if it happens, it's a good constructive feedback. There's always about how do we make it better? Are you getting enough value? So every single session I have, I always ask at the end, did you get enough value and clarity to move to the next level, the next step, right? So always the answer is yes. But obviously there's some of those, they have higher expectations and they might feel, you know, I should have been there sooner than later, but it's the journey, right? Depends on the person. And when the journey and expectations are clear, then usually there's no complaints. They will raise it up. Hey, Milan, you know, I wanted to get there a month ago, but okay, let's work on it now. So they know it's essentially, it's not a coach's fault, it's their fault for not following through, if we put it that way. Like, here's the steps to follow. If you don't follow, well, I gave you the steps, why didn't you follow? But we can do this together. We walk together this path, but I have to hold your hand sometimes so we can achieve the results that we're aiming for.
Okay. Well, you know, like, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm shy, okay? And how do you get people like me, shy people, to open up and to be able to talk to people, to do this type of work?
So the simplest way is you talk about the things that you know. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have your own story, your own experience and expertise in different areas. All you have to do really, share your story, right? So, and the story goes as far as you being a kid and maybe bullied back in the days, or being a failure at some point, or obstacles. But the thing is, you're not there anymore. You're not living in the past, but you learn something from that experience. It's like when you're talking to your friends, you want to give them an advice. So you're not shy talking to them. So if we treat our audience as your friends, say, hey, look, I've been through rough stuff, and I've been broke, and I've been bankrupt, and I went through a divorce, right? But here's what I would advise you as a friend, what I learned from that experience. Then the shyness go away, because you're literally sharing your story. But strategically, right? We want them to learn from you. You become an expert by doing that. And eventually, at the end, you might invite them to, hey, you want to learn more? I have a program. I have a book or something like that. So I realized that you become shy because you're thinking too much. You think that you have to be perfect technically and that you have to sound one way or another. It's just be you. Right? Nobody can take that away from you, right? All the other things you can improve over time, but you have your own story that's unique. You have your own experience that's unique, but I might experience similar things like you went through in life, right? So people are always willing to learn from unique people. I like to call it like it's a raw story. It's yours. It's unique, but experience with the lessons becomes very powerful once you share it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, is there a script that you have to go by? Or you just, like you said, be you and go by what you know.
So there's techniques that you can learn, and one of the great ones I learned from Lisa and Nico is called the Valley. Really is about, if we watch movies because we love hero story, hero journey. Here's someone who's suffering, and then eventually that person at the end becomes a hero. So in your story, you are the hero now. You might not think you are, but you overcome something in the past, right? And now we use the strategy of, I was there, right? And this is what I went through when I was there emotionally, right? Let's bring that more. How did I feel when I was there, broke and stuck? But here's what I've done to pull myself up to be where I am today. So it's like the valley. Like you see me as today, happy, right? But I was broke and I was struggling, but I pull myself back up to share what I have today. So that's one of the techniques. There's about 10 of them powerful that you can always use and improve. But one simple technique can go a long way, because it doesn't really matter your ums and ahs and appearance, as long as the message is clear at the end. And I take something, wow, this lady has a powerful story, and she showed me how did she overcome that difficulty at that point of time. They're going to take that away and potentially apply in their lives. And that's what we want, to make them feel differently, to have some great takeaway at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay. So, what role does technology play in your business?
Oh, it's a big one, especially now with the AI, right? I use AI and ChatGPT, all these platforms to assist you with clarity in some directions. Like, how do I coach this client with this kind of personality? Sometimes you need help. Let's structure the steps to follow for the next month, or especially for content creation, right? Create me like 30-day content plan instead of me sitting down for hours and thinking. You get this instantly really quick. So save a lot of time, especially when your business kind of depends on you being visible. I mean, I have to get content out there, so it saves me a lot of time on planning and creating that structure. But technology, right, we have to learn it one way or another, or pay someone to do it for us, right? So I like to be hands-on and know it inside out, so that when I hire someone at some point, I know exactly what they're doing, what I expect it to do. So I would encourage people to learn as much as they can, especially now with AI. A lot of platforms, especially for the content creation, social media posts, all that can get automated to get an offload of ourselves, because we get overwhelmed. If I have to spend 5 hours creating, then I'm tired at the end. I don't want to do it. But AI can do it much, much quicker. So it's a really good tool.
Do you think AI is going to take over everything, especially the human part of things, the human touch?
It's a good question, but not necessarily everything, but some parts of jobs and industries might be taken over where automation plays an important role, right? Nothing can compare with a human touch. If I'm closing, let's say, a high-ticket deal or coaching program, $10,000, for instance, AI is never going to close that, right? And it's not there as yet to sound and look as natural as I would, and it can never think like you would. Like I was trying to teach some people to do the same thing like I did. I couldn't even teach them because years of experience, and one of my mentors would say, well, you've done 10,000 hours, you can't even teach them. They have to do it the same way. I can tell by talking to a person what do they really need at that point of time, what kind of guidance, and I can use my own ability as a human, right? That's the intuition that AI will never have. AI-based, the response is based on the data, right? So wherever data is required, AI will excel. It's faster, it's quicker, but we need human touch to show people that we care, to show people that you're not alone, that we walk in this journey together, and I'll be there next to you. I mean, AI switches off, right? But if I'm standing next to you and your success depends on me being there, then we have to take that path, right? So it's one way or another in those industries where people interacting on a deeper level and closing higher end deals, regardless what it is, AI will never take it away. We'll still have to have those experts to lead that industry and really make it better. They will try, They will
Yeah.
try to make, oh, it sounds good, but it's not there. We can tell it's an AI. Like even the avatars that we have now, it looks like you. I get this all the time, actually. People say, you look like AI. Like, maybe I do, but, you can tell by the mimics that there's something that is human, the way you move and the way you act. So it's quite interesting. Not there yet. Might be in the future. At that point, why not get AI to do social media, maybe some consultation calls. But for those high-end packages and deals, I think they're always going to be needed, yeah.
I'm really getting mighty close to it. Like they had I saw AI of Snoop Dogg doing a crip walk, and it was doing pretty good. They just made a few mistakes. Like Snoop had dreads. This one had cornrows. Snoop is skinny, tall and skinny. This one has some meat to him. This one kind of fine a little bit. Snoop ain't fine unless you like skinny men like that. But they make little mistakes.
Have you seen the one with J.D. Vance when he's dancing as well? The same video, but
funny
jumping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So, how do you motivate and manage your team?
By delegating properly in terms of tasks and proper deadline. I realize that a lot of time there's a misunderstanding what they need to do and how to do it. But because I know the business inside out, all the positions that I'm hiring that I might be having, I tell them exactly what needs to be done, the deadlines and all the steps to follow. So there's no confusion. Deadlines are very important, and feedback as well, reporting, right? Okay, we have to do this by Friday. Report if you're not able to do it, but if you have to extend, let's try not to, but let's set the deadlines and clear steps daily what needs to be done. A lot of people have a big goals, right, whatever that is, and then set a deadline, then not accomplish because they haven't break that down into smaller steps. I realize that in my business, whatever that is, right, social media, posting, marketing, business, events, got to be smaller steps, checklists. Okay, this has to be done today. This is how long it's going to take. Let's set the priorities. Let's start from the top to the bottom. And when you break every single task into smaller steps with priorities, you get things done, right? And communication.
So you don't mind paying overtime?
Say again?
So you don't mind paying overtime if you have to, say for instance, this is a big job and the person does not want to mess up. So they're, as you said, taking baby steps and checking over it, ATD, attention to detail, and they're going slow and making sure they dot the I's, cross their T's. And it's, instead of being done at 4 o'clock, it's taking them 6 o'clock every day to do it. And that's overtime. You're not going to fuss at them for going over, working late every night.
It depends how important the project is, right? So if I'm running low, like short on deadline, like by Saturday this needs to be done, on Sunday there's an event. So my team is normally paid like per month. So it's a bit different than what you would do in America, right? Paid by the hour and stuff. But if I pay them by the monthly, right? So then they need to know what needs to be done in that particular month and the importance of every single task. That's why we have to do reports prior, like, okay, how far are we? Could this be done today by 4? I need it by 4 because we need to have a bit more couple of hours before the actual event. So I like to be on top of things and think ahead, right? So, and not even leaving it for the last minute, right? Got to be done at least day before or 2 days so that we leave some room for mistakes and testing, right? The tech check and everything. Because I do a lot of live events online and live, so you need to have some time to test all that stuff. Regardless how many you've done in the past, there's always something might go wrong. Or the webinar freezes, or like we did earlier, we had this tech check that didn't work.
Yeah.
We had to log in. So we do a bit of a testing and then leave that buffer, that time, just in case we have to fix something, yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So I wouldn't mind working for you. All right, let's see. How do you allocate resources with your business?
Depending on the importance, priority, and the department, right? So if I have, let's say, I'm also head of marketing for all our brands, and I have a budget for marketing, set budget, and I know how many leads we're going to have. It's already allocated. Every single month is pretty much the same. But then there's budget for systems, there's budget for salespeople, for instance. So got to be set again ahead of time, right? And then we have targets obviously that we have to reach in terms of leads, how many people we have to close to cover that cost. So normally if I do marketing, inviting people for my webinars, and then people would come, and whatever we sell at the webinar should be enough to cover the cost of marketing so that I'm covered. But then I'm inviting people to weekend masterclass where we're selling high-ticket packages. That should be a pure profit on top of that. So budget is normally allocated depending on priority, and every single department should have based on what they need. But as a business, you want to grow. So once in a while, every couple of months, we see what do you need extra to grow this to the next level. Let's say in IT, if they need some more improved systems, or if I want to put some more money into marketing to get more leads, how much would that be, right? So there's always about an extra allocation of the profit, if there's any profit for all the other departments. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you're planning to have your business to grow. So where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
It's a great question. I mean, I run several businesses, but eventually you pick the one that is close to you, that it's close to your identity and your purpose, right? So for me, it's about building, growing a massive network of speakers, communicators, locally first, but then internationally. So at this point, we have about 50,000 members. Within 2 years, should have about, let's say, 100,000. Will be a great goal in 5 years to have about 1 million people worldwide, people who will be part of the massive network of communicators and potentially being members of it, right? It all depends on the scalability and identifying what will be the right market. Should we go to America now? What kind of competition we have there? Is there something similar? Or should we stick to Africa, right? Right now in South Africa, maybe local countries like Namibia, Botswana, or we go a bit up north as well. So goals are needed. We do it for like 12 months, 5 years, and then 10 years as well. It's all about the growth. But let's put it that way, maybe 1 million people having in a network. So far, to give you an idea, our database is about 260,000 people, which we built it over 5 years in a database. And social media is about 200-something thousand. So if we double that in the next 5 years, should be about 500,000. But then again, the more money you put in the marketing, you might even reach more people. So yeah.
Do you have any businesses in like West Africa?
No. Right now we're focusing mainly on South Africa because we understand this market and doing these live events. But online businesses we have like book sales and something like that, and different trainings. That's pretty much worldwide, but not specifically West Africa that we are focusing on. So,
yeah. Okay. So what are your personal values and how do they influence your business decisions?
Number one always was family, right? Something to motivate why we're doing this for. Money is kind of a byproduct of you creating something meaningful. For me, if I'm doing this for my kids, I want them to have better life, but also don't want to give it to them on a plate. They also have to earn it in a way through lessons that I'm giving it to them, right? I do also martial arts, and they started doing it also so they can learn discipline and commitment. So it's a big mindset of I learned the game through the pain, but you don't have to. You're going to learn it in the smart way. So let's see what worked for me, and you can start, and I'm going to cover that charge so that you don't have to struggle as much, but I'm not going to give it to you on the plate. So you got to learn it as well as much as you can. So family, learning, growth, never-ending story of learning and seeing who they want to be, becoming the best version of yourself that you can be, right? So what that is now might change in the next year or so as we grow and develop. I mean, when I was 19, I just wanted to have a car and a girlfriend, and I'm happy, right? But then you buy a car you've been saving for 4 years, now you're broke again. Like, that's not going to work. So got to be something better, something bigger, right? So it's all about that unstoppable desire to grow and change other people's lives, right? We're talking about that. Money, it's good to have it. You change your life first, but then let me teach others how they can do the same thing. I can change more lives the more money I have. Then becomes a meaningful journey of it's not 9 to 5, more about what is the next big thing I'm going to do today, right? So that they can also see that success. And then if I help you, you help me, then we create in that community a value exchange system where everybody benefits and everybody some way would make money, right? And we should be happy for them, because if I help you make more money, then you're going to help me as well, just the way it naturally is, right? So if I help enough people make enough money, eventually I'm going to have as much as I want to, if we're talking about money. So values are deeper than surface, right? It's more about, for me, it's about meaning. Why am I doing this for? Why am I running this business if I'm not happy? Like, if this is draining me, like, what's the point? Maybe even making me money, but I gotta find something that will fulfill me, and when I find it, let me stick to it because I'm love doing it. So if one day I woke up, I realized, hey, I'm actually a pretty good speaker. I've done 1,000 live events and I train a lot of people. I built a business to 8 figures. Maybe I should keep doing this because it kind of fulfills me. I would do it even if they don't pay me. So when you find that thing that you would do even if they don't pay you, that's probably it, right? That means that becomes your life calling, and everything else goes around it. That can make you more money, and you can have a meaningful life as long as you want to, yeah.
Have you ever thought about adopting?
Adapting? In what way?
Because, there are such things as adult adopting, and I'd be willing to throw my name in the bucket, and you can adopt me. I don't mind. Mama, I don't smoke, Mama. I know, yeah, Mama, and I'm working, Mama. Yeah, I know, and I know, Mama. So you thank you, Mama. Love you, Mama. If you're going the wrong way, Mama. You need to go back the other way, Mama. Yes, Mama. Yeah, you need to go pee, Mama. You're going the other way. You're going the wrong way. Okay, Mama. Okay, you go pee the other way. Okay, Mama. Yeah, Mama, but that's not what you got to go pee in, Mama. You got to go pee the other way. Going back in the other room, Mama. There you go. But that's not the right way, Mama. Okay. As I said, I'm willing to be adopted. You can adopt me. Even though I'm older than you, but you can still adopt Mama. Mama, you Mama. Okay. Yes, Mama. Mama. You need to go back in the other room, Mama. Steve Harvey's looking for you. I'll be in there soon. I put it on Steve Harvey for you. Okay, Mama. Go in the wrong direction, Mama. Go back to the open door. Go through the open door, Mama. Okay, Mama. Go ahead. Mama. I'll always love my Mama. Go back through that door. Okay, Mama, go ahead. Go ahead, Mama. Don't let me stop you. Oh, okay, Mama. Mama, you disturbing my work, Mama. Okay, Mama. She's my favorite girl. You only get one, you only get one in this world. Go ahead, Mama. I love you, Mama. Go ahead. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Please forgive. Okay. So I was going to ask you, how do you measure success for yourself and your business? I don't think I can still ask you that. So how do you measure success for yourself and your business?
Well, business, you can measure it by numbers, right? But also fulfillment. If I, let's say, close the big deal, $10,000, right? So after having maybe 10 calls, that's like a pretty good close rate. But then again, is that what I want to do, right? So we measure it by past results and how far did we grow over a period of time. So if last year this time I had same results, that means I haven't really grown as much. So should we always mindset of how do I next year this time double it or have way more than I'm making right now, and what needs to happen? So what contributed the previous results? So was it marketing? Was it good salespeople? Was it different approach? So we're learning from the past always, right? So that we don't do the same mistake twice, but that we can also grow further down the line. So we can measure it based on accomplishments always, right? That's why we always doing these different meetings. Okay, this is a great year. We made, let's say, $1 million in sale, but last year we made $2 million. So we kind of down. We're still in profit, but we're down. Why? Was it COVID? Was it something else? Was it salespeople left? So it's always about comparing with something. Otherwise, we would never know are we on a good path or not. So, right. I mean, I can measure it by happiness, but if the bank account is empty, what's the point? So business has to grow in terms of revenue, but again, there's another question. Does it fulfill you? Because then you're making more money, but you're getting more miserable, then we can say maybe that's not the way. But I wouldn't mind being a billionaire, like Elon Musk, and miserable. That's not the story, right? But would it be worth it? Is that what you really want at this point? And how much is enough for a person? Is it $1,000 a month? Is it 10,000, 50, based on what you need, right? So we got to measure from something from the past, and we have to have some goals where we're heading so that we can grow.
When you were first getting started with your business, did it take a lot of time from your family that it kind of strained it?
Yeah.
Actually, and looking back, was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it because I would still be working in a shoe store back home for $500 a month and dreaming about it. So if you create that goal that is big and you're willing to work towards it, and you understand that it might suffer your family time, but still I'm doing this for my kids, then it's worth it, right? Because you're still doing it for them, for your family, right? For your mom or whoever that is. Then becomes a meaningful journey. Then all the sleepless nights and you being tired doesn't really mean anything, because it's the goal. Why are we doing this for, right? So I like to say it's not about the quantity as much as it is for quality, right? So I can drop my kids to school, pick them up, we go for a picnic, and then I will take like a few days, lock in the room, building a business, right? But those meaningful moments they'll remember because I was there when it's needed, quality time. Like when my daughter is swimming, competing, then I always going to be there because I know she's going to look, where's daddy, right? She's going to remember that moment. But not the moments when they fall asleep, then I'm staying awake for a couple more hours working the business. That's my task, so that they don't know what's happening behind. But it's worth it, always is, as long as you see that as a reward. Like I'm rewarded by having more and still having a family and being able to have those precious moments with them, then everything falls away, all the pain and suffering, right? So it's worth it.
Hmm. So your babies were small when you first started.
Yeah.
So how old are they now?
8 years old.
Oh, okay. So now you can spend time with them and really enjoy them.
Yeah. They're good, smart kids. Lots of questions, but picking up things, yeah.
I love to see the look in your eye when you talk about them. It's a different look than when you talk about your business, and that's good. You see the love in your eyes. And some beautiful eyes, I must say.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So, does your business give back to the community?
Yeah. Yeah, we give a lot back to underprivileged and to orphans as well. We have one place packed with like 50 orphans. We always give back to different events when we have goes to them, but also to the other areas and people that we love to contribute anyways. So it's good. I mean, I like to believe the more you give back, the more you're going to get anyways, and it's a good feeling, right? You made something that you can help someone have more, right? And even if they spend, it doesn't really matter, but at least your soul is clean and you contributed that way. It kind of balances itself.
Okay, that's good. How does your business impact the environment and or society? Even though you kind of told me a little bit.
Well, we're focusing mainly on society because South Africa has a lot of poverty, right? So we're educating people to get out of there, right? To learn different ways of growing and building wealth and finding other opportunities instead of just working for someone 9 to 5, right? So where they depend on someone else. So the more lives that can change, the more lives that can take out of poverty, and then other way around, so they can teach others and show them that it's possible. That if you were able to do it, coming out of poverty, become successful, then you become inspirational story from people around them. And our target focus is basically people from township who want to learn and willing to learn and grow from there, right? Apart from other people, let's say property investors or speakers, everybody has a story, but wouldn't it be an amazing story that if you start from nothing, grow up in township, really poor area, and then one day you become a powerful speaker, millionaire, and build a business, and all of a sudden, wow, I started from there. That's a great inspiring story for the youth and anybody who doesn't have a role model, right? Nowadays we have role models, we're looking at rappers and all these stars, but then like what about really teaching our kids? Not necessarily family values, but more of easy money, right? We have women they realize, the only way to make money is to get married or get a rich boyfriend, right? Or what about you learning to become independent woman through a business, right? Why do you have to depend on anyone but attracting the right people? I mean, we had different role models back in the days that we grew up with, right? Yeah. But now this is different, and we fall under influence of people we get inspired by, right? I was inspired by martial artists, by some business people. I had opportunities, but today is like, if you look at the kids, what are you going to be tomorrow? Look, I don't know, I want to be a slave queen. I mean, how's that going to work for you? It might work to some point, because it's easy money, right? But why not be an educated business person where you can build your business, right legal way, learn how to go about it, don't depend on anyone, change lives. So we have to create different, more better, I'll say, role models and show them that it's possible, that you don't have to be a politician or criminal or celebrity to make some money, that there might be different ways. But that's where the media plays an important role, and us as educators, right?
Okay. So can you tell us the name of your book and more what it's about?
Okay. Well, I wrote 9 books, but the one that was a bestseller with Amazon, was #1 on the Amazon, was Cracking the Rich Code. It was written with Jim Britt, who was Tony Robbins' coach, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, and I was one of the co-author, and was endorsed by Tony Robbins, Cracking the Rich Code. So myself and about 20 top entrepreneurs in the world, we gathered the stories from around the world. I was representing Serbia and South Africa, and we simply shared our journey and inspired people, and that book became, at that point of time, #1 on the Amazon. So if people want to get inspired by stories and realize that there's some people who started with nothing and built something meaningful, that will be a great book to get. Cracking the Rich Code, Volume 7. That's the one that I was in. So yeah, you can easily find it on the Amazon.
So I'm going to have to get that book. Because Lord knows I need to make money. So, let's see here. What have been the biggest challenges you have faced as a business owner?
I tell you one thing, accepting the failure as necessary to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably is the hardest part of one's life in general, but especially in business, because there's no straight line business. You start a business and it grows and it grows. There's always going to be obstacles and dips and falls, and something's going to happen sooner than later. And then it's about understanding it's the part of the process, but being able to navigate through those rough waters, it's the skill that you have to build, right? So I had to develop that and understanding. It's just the way it is, but I have enough experience that I can navigate and swim through it. I know what to do when it happens, when it doesn't go according to the plan, and that's what makes you a good businessman, and you develop that thick skin. Same with relationships, right? We can have good life, and then all of a sudden it goes down. Something happens. How do we handle it? Are we going to freak out, or is like, okay, let's strategically deal with it? So that was the hardest to learn, but once you learn, it becomes just part of your nature.
Okay. So, is there anything you would do differently if you were to start over again?
You know, I asked my friend that long time ago, and he said something I'm going to share with you as well. He said, if I do differently, I won't be who I am today. Simple. So I would probably not do anything differently, because all that journey of pain and suffering made me to become who I am today, right? So if I do one thing differently, it will remove the part of my personality which made me to become who I am today. So if I'm looking for that, I mean, we can always say, you know, if I'd done this, I would have more money, I'll be more happier. Yes, but the lack of the journey, perhaps I wouldn't necessarily go to the next level if everything was just smooth when I was 19, if I have all the money then. If I bought Bitcoin in 2010, right, I would have been, there won't be any need for me to develop other businesses if I have all that money at the point of time. But you see, I had to grow and become who I am today because of those failures and obstacles. So I wouldn't change it. I would just learn from it and become better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was thinking that if I could turn back the hands of time, or go back into time and change anything, there have been a lot of bad things that has happened in my life, but I know, Mama, go, Mama, go, Mama, and I wouldn't change it, because if I change one thing, it would change everything, and it would change the person that I have become. If I go way back before my children was born, then they wouldn't be born.
Yeah.
And I love my children. So I would have to let all the bad things happen.
Yeah.
So What I have to go through it, so let's leave it alone. Don't go back in the time. Just let it be as it has been. And so I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
But let me see. How do you handle difficult situations or conflicts within the business?
Communication. Yeah, you got to learn communication. If you cannot communicate, you cannot lead. Simple as that. A lot of people don't know how to communicate, and that's what is conflicts. And probably that's why my marriage fell apart, because I was not communicating enough. You know, what do you want? What do you need? It was more about you get into that state of complacency. Okay, now I have this, and like, okay, I'll just kind of go with it. But then I learned from that experience to over-communicate. I don't want any misunderstandings. At least I told you all there is, so there's no question marks, right? So it might hurt you, but at least you said it. There's no questions, right? Better say more than say less, right? So in business, we have to delegate. We have to be very clear what's needed to be done, and even validate. Like, let me validate this. Did I hear what you just said this way? Because I might understood differently, and now we know where we're standing. And then becomes easier to navigate, exceeding those expectations that people might be having, and really communicate. And that's the skill that I started training people. Like, you can communicate better. You can become a better leader. Just need to understand and put yourself into the mind of the person that you're talking to, what kind of takeaway they need to have to accomplish what you want them to accomplish, right?
I found out that if it's in marriage or in a business, you can be transparent. You can say everything, make it clear. But the other person, they can hear it, but if they're not truly listening, it's not going to do any good.
Yeah.
No good whatsoever. It's like in one ear and out the other.
But that's the question then. Question becomes, can I live with someone like that, or should I be looking for someone better? If my employee doesn't do things that I'm supposed to, I might like them and I feel for them, but you're not doing what you're supposed to, you're fired. I'm going to find someone better. And if in relationship, if you're not willing to settle down for that, and that's one of your bigger values, then we have to move on, and it's okay, right? If it's making you miserable being in that relationship. But it's always, I like to say, it's a two-way street. We're working as a team for the greater good, whether it's the business or relationships. So we have to be on the same page. Why are we doing this for? If you're doing nothing and I'm working like 24/7, like, what's the point? What are you contributing, right? So are you slacking in relationship or at work? So we have to think for the greater good, or it's not going to work. I think that's why a lot of relationships and marriages fall apart, because expectations are not met in sooner stages. We just go with the feelings, but then we've seen the red flags very early on. Like, you know, this is not what I want, but I kind of like the way they look or what they make me feel. But if my higher value is family and yours is not, then there's a clash at some point is going to happen. And it's all about, can I live with it? If not, then we have to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Communication is a must. You have to have open communication and understanding both ways. Because if it's only one way, it doesn't work at all. Not at all. So I see our time is almost up. So before it goes, is there anything that you would like to tell someone who is just getting started out there? Any advice?
I think the best advice will be to keep learning and growing. Keep learning and growing, because it's never-ending story in your own development as a person and as a business owner one day, hopefully, right? If you're running your business now, what is that next level that I can reach? But how I started my businesses was I would find something that already existed and I just took that and made it better. So I'm not reinventing something new. It's like, this is working already. Let me put my own twist on it with my own personality, my own flair, make it better based on what I think could be done better. And that simply was the recipe for success. And on that journey, you just grow, right? You learn and grow and stay long enough on that path of learning and growing, success will come. Then it's all about taking it to the next level through more ups and downs and learning and growing more, right? It's a journey. We never arrive. We always just moving, and reaching these levels, these mountains, and then at some point you might say, I had enough, or this is what I'm supposed to do. So just keep learning, keep growing.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have really enjoyed you. Well, I don't know about Bill, but I know I really enjoyed you today. And I want to thank you so much for coming. Mr. Milan Milosevic.
You said it well. Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me. I really enjoyed it. No, that's fine. That's okay. So, yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave it as Mr. Milan.
Good enough.
So, if you ever want to come back and join us again, I'll be happy, more than happy to have you back again. And so, blenders out there, please come back and join us again. We'll be happy to have you. And like I said, once again, I don't have my script in front of me. My brain is not as good as it used to be. But please come back and join us again. So you have a great day out there, and see you later. Thank you for coming.